Hey folks, welcome back to the Toronto Marlies Insider podcast. Today we have a very special episode and it's our third installment in the Beyond the Ice series. We're interviewing Toronto hockey royalty, where grandfather won 1 or 2 Stanley Cups, we're still not sure, Alec Celebre, who's the in-arena host for the Toronto Marlies. Let's jump into it. So folks, today we have Alec Celebre on the podcast. Alex, huge welcome and thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. This is really fun. I'm excited for this. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, no problem. I'd absolutely love it. So, how you doing? How's your summer? Anything exciting happen? No?
Oh, let's see. I've
No?
been a little busy. I got married like 3 weeks ago,
Yes, you
just over
did.
3 weeks ago. Went on my honeymoon. We've really only been back like a week. It's been nice. It was
Excellent.
really sad when the Marley season ended so abruptly.
Oh,
Um,
oh,
Because it's funny, like Luke and I were talking about, like, wouldn't it be crazy that if when we came back, there was still hockey? Like, we
oh,
could go on our trip, come back,
beautiful.
and there'd still be hockey. And then it was like, oh man. But like, even since that, the end of the season happened up till now, it's been such a whirlwind. But it's been a great summer so far.
Yeah, hey, long may it continue.
Yeah.
So, again, thanks for joining us. And like we were talking about before we started recording, the whole point of this series is to give Marlies fans, maybe AHL fans as well, an insight into what goes on kind of behind the scenes and give them a chance to know people a little bit better that they would already know. Like you,
Yeah.
like Simon, like Todd, those kind of people. And with
Mhm.
you being the in-arena voice of the Marlies, I think you're the perfect guest. So we normally take guests back to the start and kind of work our way up from there. I was reading, I was 100% stalking your LinkedIn profile, 100% creeping it. You studied theatre at York. So
I
where did your
did.
love for the fine arts come from? Were you always destined to do that?
Oh man. For sure always destined to do
Yeah.
that. I think well, so I guess we'll bring it back to like, so my dad, huge hockey guy,
Yeah.
huge hockey guy. He tried to get me on skates when I was younger.
Yeah.
Was not happening. Like
Mm-hmm.
zero talents for the ice. But I remember, I think it was a coach or somebody said like, you maybe put her in dance. Like, looks like she wants to move. She can't just can't do it on ice. And so he put me into dance, or my parents put me into dance when I
Yeah.
was younger. My love of dance, expanded into a love of musical theater, expanded into a love of acting. And so I was one of those kids, I think, when I was really young, I figured out what I loved and was able to do
Mm-hmm.
it. And then, yeah, so it kind of feels like it was destined to be.
Excellent. And what would your three favorite plays be? Like
Oh
your
my gosh.
musicals?
Oh,
There's a question. Do you have a top three?
wow. Do I have a top three? I do have a top three. I must have a top three.
It's
I'll
hard to narrow
say
it down.
it's very tough to narrow it down. I'll say three in no particular order. There is a musical called Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Mm-hmm.
One of my faves. I saw it on Broadway maybe 9 times with
Okay.
different, a variation of different casts. It was amazing. Rent, a
Mm-hmm.
classic, a
Mm-hmm.
classic. I love Rent very much. I'm trying to think of a play. What is a very good play that I love? Mm, I didn't think we'd be talking theater, and now I have to switch my brain from sports to theater. It's so exciting. I will say, let's put a little classic in there. Actually, no, I'm gonna say a play, Peter and the Starcatcher.
Excellent.
Very, very good. It's like a take on a Peter Pan story.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good.
Brilliant. So no come from away, no Canadian option. Okay, I got
Oh
it.
my gosh,
No, no,
Come
I
From
got it. No,
Away.
next question. Um,
That's Luca's favorite, I'll tell you that.
that is brilliant. Actually, I tell you, sorry, Alison and I, that's my wife's name. Her mother got us
Yeah,
tickets to it for Christmas.
yeah.
So this is 3, 4 years ago when they were doing their run. We went and we loved it.
Isn't it amazing?
2 months later, there's tickets available. Let's go again. We went twice in
Oh
two
my
months.
gosh.
It is
It's
incredible.
I can't believe I didn't that I'm not just saying this because you said it.
Yes,
That
you
is
are.
truly one of my favorites. I saw it on Broadway. I've seen it
Yeah.
in Toronto a couple of times. Like that's such a special one. And the creators of it, York Theater alumni. So
Oh,
I
I
don't
didn't
know
know
them
that.
personally, but a little bit of a York connection.
Ah, there we go. Good people.
Yeah, yeah.
Good people. Okay. So one more kind of theater based question. Well, two or three
Mhm.
actually.
Sure.
I was reading that when you were working as an actress, you went back to Durham and did broadcasting,
Sure
and
did.
you got a GPA of 5.0. Now, I'm Irish, so coming from Ireland, I seen 5.0 and thought, oh, 5 out of 10. Yeah, that's like a pass. Nothing wrong with that. So I had to Google because we don't have GPAs. That's a very
Right. It's a
North
different
American
system.
thing. So you see that in movies and the American TV shows, but it means nothing to us. And in case it means nothing to anybody else, that's an average of 97 to 100%.
Hmm.
Firstly, nerd alert. Secondly, I've never scored that high in any exam in my entire life. And you averaged it. Good Lord.
I sure
That's
did.
that's incredible. I'm assuming you're
Thank
super
you.
proud of that 5.0 number.
Thank you so much. I am. I was actually just reflecting on this recently, um, about how hard that was
Yeah.
to do. But it was interesting going back to school as a mature student, as I was at the time, because I
Hmm.
mean, it makes me sound so much older than I am, but I wasn't fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
It was my second time around. But it gives you a different perspective going back to it,
Yeah.
especially when it's like, this is my money. I'm choosing to spend my money to do
Yep.
this. I'm going to put everything I have into it. And I
Hmm.
did. And I really enjoyed it. Going back to
Excellent.
school and being able to do it without the, let's say, distractions of,
Yep.
when you're younger and going to school where it's
Hmm.
about, making connections and friends and socializing and stuff.
Hmm.
For me, I was just like, I'm going back to school because I really want this and I want to learn
Excellent.
everything I can. I poured everything I had into that. And then yeah, like it really, I mean, it paid off obviously in the work that I get to do now, but
Hmm.
it paid off too. Just I was so proud of myself and was like, dang, I'm a good student. I
Yeah.
didn't know. And even in the classes that weren't broadcasting related, I remember I did
Yeah.
a course. This is such a tangent. One of my favorite courses I did at Durham College was one of those like general education courses that you
Yeah.
have to take to kind of supplement your credits.
Hmm.
It was a course called Making Monsters. It was all about monsters, like from Frankenstein to the Loch
Okay.
Ness Monster to, people, like political figures, kind of.
Yeah.
Um, and I got 100% in that course. And that might be my
Wow.
proudest achievement coming out of Durham College. But
Good Lord.
I ate that material up. I had so much fun with it. Going back to school was very, very cool. And I'm very proud of myself that I did it because it was a scary decision to do.
Yeah, sure. Well, 5.0 definitely seems like it was the right decision to make.
Yeah.
Good Lord. So, yeah. So you said that kind of tied into your work. And I was looking at your portfolio and it's extensive and it's kind of behind the lens and in front of it. Which would you prefer, the director producer role or the on-camera kind of talent? Which is your favorite type of work?
I would say, sorry, I don't know how to turn these notifications off. Um, I would say at this point, I think I get more gratification from producing
Mm-hmm.
because when I was an actor, I loved being an actor. Like, obviously, it's a very cool, very fun job.
Mm-hmm.
But as an actor, you don't have a lot of control over things. Like, A, you don't have control if somebody's going to cast you, so that's kind of very
Yeah.
helpless. But then B, if you are cast and you're on set, you're just doing what everybody's telling you to do. There's
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of creative control. There's not a lot of control of anything. You just show up when you're told
Oh.
to, you say the lines that you're supposed to, you go
Mm-hmm.
home. What I love about producing and what I do now is from start to finish, I have a lot of control over what happens. Things are happening because I'm ordering them to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're showing up on a location, it's because I scouted this location and now we're here. People are showing up because I told them to show up at a certain time. Like things, I've realized like as an actor, it was a very helpless feeling. I
Mm-hmm.
do love being able to have more input and more
Yeah.
say and
Excellent.
creative control over things.
Yeah.
And so don't get me wrong, I love interviewing. I love connecting with people and I love talking to people.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that I do on The Shift, the show that I work on for
Mm-hmm.
TSN, is, we're a very small team. And if I'm doing an interview, I've probably set it up as well. I've probably done all the producing as well. But if I did have to just pick one avenue, I would probably go more behind the scenes these days because I do love having so much creative control and so much
Mm-hmm.
input on the product, start to finish.
That brings us to Luca's question. Why are you a control freak? No, he didn't. I'm joking. I'm joking. That's not what he asked. That's not what he asked. Um,
Uh,
that's not what he
well,
asked.
let me tell you.
Let me tell you about that guy. So actually, from the behind the scenes aspect, you worked on some massive projects. I was taking a read of them. Would you say Adidas or Adidas, firstly?
I say Adidas. Adidas?
Adidas? Adidas? What would you say?
Adidas.
Okay,
Something like
Adidas.
that. Something like
Oh, so close enough. So you did content for Adidas for the World Cup,
that.
and
Yes.
obviously European, Irish soccer, big into it. So I've
Yeah.
been dying to ask you about it since I read it. What was
Yeah.
that like? That had to have been incredible.
It was very cool. It
Yeah.
was very, very cool. And that was, well, obviously, because next year's, another World
Mm-hmm.
Cup cycle, that was when I was fresh into this new sports career, this new, taking a departure from acting and stuff
Mm-hmm.
and doing this. And then this opportunity, um, I guess was brought to me, and I was like, what am I gonna do? Say no to this? Like, I can't believe I'm doing all these cool things. Um, it was a really fun campaign to work on. I got to do a lot of different things with that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I did what are they called? Regent Park United. So there's a soccer club at a Regent Park here in Toronto. We kind of did like a feature on them, which was very community based, which is a lot of the stuff I like to do,
Mm-hmm.
like the focus that I like to do on my work. But then we got to do like shoe ads and like go to the Eaton Center and like the
Oh
store
yeah.
there and shoot. And so we got to do a variety of things, and
Mm-hmm.
all of it was very fun. Like the clients were just like the client was so fun to work with. They were very easy to work with, which you don't always get in this
Yeah.
industry.
Can imagine.
But it was really, really cool. I was actually just talking to someone on Thursday about, like what's who's buying into spots and stuff for World Cup this year, and there's a
Mhm.
lot of cool stuff coming up
I can't
and
wait.
stuff that's like we're only a year away from World Cup next summer, and
Yeah.
so I hope this next year is going to be really busy for me personally because I love working on these kinds of things. So
Excellent.
we'll see, but it was very, very cool.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, the next question is, what was your favorite project to work on?
Hmm.
Or do you have a favorite? Or are you one of, oh, they're all my favorite. I'm not going to
I
ask you your least
don't.
favorite. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
completely not
fair.
fair.
I would say some of my favorite things that I've ever got to do were with a program called RBC Training Ground.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they do, yeah, just I'll quickly explain it, but it's
Yep.
basically like RBC is looking to find, athletes, well-rounded athletes, and introduce them to Olympic sports that maybe they have never tried before to kind of fill out the Olympic roster. So
Yep.
take very naturally gifted athletes. Maybe you played soccer your whole life, but soccer's not something you're pursuing anymore, but you still have a great athletic build. Try this sport instead. Try
Mm-hmm.
rowing, try cycling, something like that. And so I haven't worked on training ground maybe in a couple of years, but I really enjoyed working with them because I love the Olympics and I love Olympic athletes. I
Mm-hmm.
find them to be so interesting because, most of the year or most of the time in their lives, they're just regular people
Yep.
who work really hard, who oftentimes work, regular jobs to supplement to be able to
Mm-hmm.
train. But then once every 4 years, they get to shine on a global stage. And
Yep.
I'm like, man, they're so cool because they work so hard and don't always get the credit. But then when they do get the credit, it's like, everybody knows their name. And it's
Yep.
it's really I find working on the Olympics in any capacity very cool.
Excellent.
Um, but yeah, anytime I've been able to work with RBC Training Ground specifically, I've been so grateful because yeah, I just find what they do so, so cool and really important.
Brilliant. Well, speaking of important work, since 2021, you've served as the director for the Vanier. Is that how you say Vanier?
Yes, Vianney
Vanier
College.
College there. No, BIPOC. Is that how you say that word? Or do you say
Yeah,
BIPOC? BIPOC?
no, but you can say BIPOC. Yeah.
BIPOC. So you've been their director for the BIPOC Artist Hub. Can you tell us a little bit about that and the work that it does?
Absolutely. So, Vanier College, so I went to York University.
Mm-hmm.
My first year, I discovered Vanier College, which is, or Vanier College Productions, rather, which is a
Mm-hmm.
production company that does plays and musicals and a ton of theater things out of Vanier College. My first year, I did Legally Blonde there. That's where I met so many of my closest friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've stayed a part of the Vanier College community. And so that was like in 2014 when I did Legally Blonde, so a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about Vanier College Productions is it really is like a family. Like once you're in, you're stuck in it. Like you try and leave, they'll pull you back.
Yep.
But so I've remained close with a lot of those people. One of them being Brian Goldenberg, who is, I guess, the associate producer. Wow, I really should get his title right. But anyways, he's the guy who
Yeah.
runs the whole show. I
Yeah.
know. Well, we'll fix that in post.
Yeah.
But I've remained close with him, and he, I guess, yeah, back in 2021, approached me with an idea to launch a new group at Vanier that would have a focus on young BIPOC artists.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you sure I'm the person for this?"
Mm-hmm.
Um, my struggle, or I guess not my struggle, but my concern being, I'm Chinese, I'm half Chinese. I wouldn't want anybody to look at this group and be like, well, why is this girl running it? But it's like, because I'm very white
Mm-hmm.
uh facing, I guess. But we talked about it for a long time, and I was like, but this is really important. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long I will stay with this group. Because I think, one day it'll make sense for someone else to kind of take the reins. But for the last 4 years, I've, kind of spearheaded this group.
Mm-hmm.
We have a ton of amazing, talented students. Every year we put on a showcase where they get to show off their art, their creativity. A lot of them are singers, dancers, performers. Some of them are just creative and make board games. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just an outlet for them, once a week for 2 hours. We get together, we create. Sometimes we just play games, sometimes we just talk, but it's just like that space for them. For
Mm-hmm.
me, I hope is, they know that 2 hours a week, if I'm really busy with everything else, I know that I just get to come and be creative and have fun and just hang out with
Excellent.
some friends.
Yep.
And it's been amazing. It's one of the things I am most proud of, truthfully, in my life,
Yeah.
is just getting to be a part of this and selfishly just getting to like be around creative people and just
Hell
be
yeah.
like, man, it keeps my creative juices flowing,
Yeah.
right?
Love it.
It's the best. I'm so proud of it.
Oh, fantastic. And it definitely, I did a little bit of research and it looks like it does fantastic work. So definitely hat
Yeah.
tip to you for that one.
Thank you. Thanks for asking about it. It's yeah, I don't talk about it a lot, but I feel like it's a big part of who I am.
Yeah, excellent. You should probably talk about it more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully this is the spark plug that does it.
Yeah.
Speaking of spark plugs, Joey Salmingo. There's a spark
Oh,
plug of a guy. So
Joey.
he has
Love
been your
it.
co-host. He
Yes.
announced at the end of the season that he's not returning as your co-host,
Yeah.
which kind of sucks. Joey was a bit of a stud. Uh,
I know.
can you talk a bit about him? What was he a help when you first came on board, and what was it like working with him? Because from his fans' perspective,
Yeah.
like we sit in 111 directly opposite the tunnel
Okay.
where the players
Yeah.
come out.
Yep.
So we see you guys just laugh. Like before the camera starts, you're laughing, you're joking. Afterwards, you're high-fiving and
Oh,
you're
that makes
hugging.
me
And
happy.
yeah, so we definitely think you guys have the best job in the arena. So was it just
Yeah.
fun?
Oh my God, yeah. I love Joey
No.
so, so much. And it's, like I knew it was his last season about halfway through the season, or
Mm-hmm.
at least halfway through the season, I think he started to maybe have inklings of like,
Mm-hmm.
this might be it. Wasn't official, obviously, until the end.
Yeah.
Um, but right away, like from the first time I met him in person. We met kind of unofficially on a Zoom, like right when I was hired.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of more like official business stuff. But the first time I got to meet him in person, like I felt like we connected instantly.
Yeah.
Like I have always said that Joey and I, the reason that we worked so well together was because we really like approached the job in the same way, where it's
Mm-hmm.
like obviously, first things first, have fun. First things
Mm-hmm.
first. I mean, like, I try to think, I'm like, what would a bad day look like hosting at the Marlies? Like, like it's just the most fun. I'm just like,
Yep.
what? Like, I didn't say the right number of balloons in a game. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, it's so light-hearted and
Yep.
so fun. And we both, approach the job with fun first, but then also a level of professionalism, of course. There
Definitely.
is a responsibility
Mm-hmm.
to, when I've always said, like, my job is when the hockey's not happening, making sure everybody's still having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just so on the same page with the way that, the weight and the responsibility of the
Mm-hmm.
job. But yeah, it's funny. We were like, I don't remember if it was the last game or one of the last games. We were just chatting as we do. And he was just like, I can't believe, like, I feel like I've known you like my whole life. Like, I feel like we've worked together for a
Yeah.
long time, but it's only been 2 years. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. Like, that is a person who is still important in my life, who will continue to be important in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we're making lunch plans. Like, he will
Excellent.
continue to be really important to me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so lucky that this job brought us together, because you never know in these situations. Because, I auditioned, by myself. It's not like you get a chemistry read to see
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna work well with somebody. And
Yeah.
we're so lucky that we just had so much fun together. And we
Mm-hmm.
really, it's funny, yeah, I'm guess like it's really heartwarming to hear that, like, yeah, you would have had the perfect angle to see
Yeah.
us, right when we come out for the game day goods, and like
Mm-hmm.
that little bit of time before we actually get on camera, and like, right after.
Mm-hmm.
Those were some of my favorite. That was like maybe my favorite part of the game every day was the game day goods, because it's really the way where it's like, oh, we're getting going, like, let's do it. It really
Yep, it
sets the
amps everybody
tone.
up. Yep.
Yeah, and Joey is the perfect hype guy, and was
I agree.
always so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my first season when his wife was pregnant and had their son.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was there maybe 4 or 5 games, but then was gone for a bit. And I
Yep.
was doing it all by myself for about
Mm-hmm.
8 games. And I was brand new to it and was like, oh
Yep.
my gosh.
They
Like,
threw
I
you in the
really
deep
felt,
end.
yeah, it was just
Yeah.
like, wow, they're putting a lot of trust in me. Um, but especially like doing it on my own and then
Mm-hmm.
doing it with Joey, like, you just have so much more appreciation for him and the energy that he brings, and just like the comfort that he is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we would laugh so hard at work, you have no idea. We would laugh so hard at the dumbest things, like,
Love it.
so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I just have so much love and respect for him. Obviously very sad that he's not returning, but
Yeah, me too.
somebody's got big shoes to fill, I will say that.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy or girl. Certainly not. Whew.
Yeah, I know it'll be tough, but Joey really was so gracious and showed me the ropes, and all I can
Mm-hmm.
do, to honor him really is to continue that legacy and now
Mm-hmm.
become that person for somebody else.
Excellent.
And that's what I'll try and do.
Yeah, well, we had Zach Solo on last week, and he said something almost
I
identical to what
saw.
you said. We were talking
Ooh,
about the Marlies, what it meant to play for them, and he said, "Look, there's players before me. They were nice when I came, and they maintained a certain level, and now it's my job to just continue that." So that
yeah,
definitely seems like a cultural thing. It seems, is there like a good culture? Like from a fan's perspective, it's fantastic.
yeah,
But from a hey, I show
yeah,
up to work, the culture looks incredible because all the game crew as well, they're all laughing
yeah,
and they're having the time where and they're getting paid for it as
yeah.
well.
I
Like it
know.
looks like just a fun place to work.
It really is.
Yeah,
It is. I really couldn't imagine a more fun job. I love going to work. Like,
excellent.
everybody, yeah, and again, like, you don't think about, like in my mind, I'm like, oh, the fans are only looking when we're on camera, but it's like, no, it's like, of course we're out in the bowl for most of the game, like, of
Yep.
course, like, you're gonna see little interactions and stuff we're not thinking of,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like, we really just enjoy hanging out with each other. It's
Excellent.
we're going to, what day is it? We're going to a Blue Jays game, all of us, in a couple of weeks. Like,
Oh,
it's
brilliant.
it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. It's a lot of fun. And I don't, yeah, I'm trying to think, like, where that culture kind of trickles down from, because I don't really know a lot of people, in front office, or more. Like, I know our game crew, I
Mm-hmm.
know this small pocket of people, but it really does seem like a, top down kind of thing in terms
Yep.
of instilling, we're really lucky to be here and let's have some fun. And that's
Yep.
always what it's felt like.
Brilliant. That's incredible.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I was talking to a few again with Zach and all of our other guests. We ask fans for a couple of questions.
Mhm.
You can probably guess 99 of them, 99% of them, sorry, were about Mr. Alex Cairns. So I'm going to keep those
Right.
questions to the bare minimum.
That's
Um,
okay.
and I'm hoping and assume that all of our listeners know, but just in case they don't, you mentioned at the start you got married, and it was to
Sure
Luca from
did.
Bardown.
Sure
So
did.
any and all hockey fans know who Luca is. So first of all, big congrats on that. Huge
Thank
congrats
you.
on that.
Thank
Um,
you.
and if our fans, even if you're not a hockey fan, go check out the Bardown YouTube channel. You know, you want to talk about a fun, kind of crazy place to work where you'd laugh every day, go check out the Bardown channel.
Yeah, they have a
Uh,
lot of fun.
yeah. And speaking of Luca, I was emailing him, and
Mhm.
he did mention that you got to skate with the GOAT, Marie-Philippe Poulin.
Oh my
What was that
gosh.
like?
Horrifying, scary, beautiful, intense, gratifying. Yeah, so MPP is my favorite hockey player ever,
Yep.
ever, ever of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, I get I got to skate with her is very generous. I did have skates on my feet. I don't really remember moving a lot. It
I love
was
it.
as throwback to, earlier in the conversation. I was never a gifted skater,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, she's very, very cool. We were just
Mm-hmm.
doing oh, I forget the name of the company, but it was a brand thing we were doing for work.
Yeah.
It was actually happening at Ted Reeves Arena, which is very close to where I live.
Mm-hmm.
So it was basically around the corner from us and was just like, yeah, I'm bringing my skates. Let's do this.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, she's an incredible woman.
Oh my
My
gosh.
goodness.
Just and her season, like she's only getting better,
Yeah.
which is so insane. I think
Mm-hmm.
people look at, athletes who are in their 30s even are just like, meh, I don't
Yeah.
know. But it's
You
like
passed it.
she is only getting better. It's so exciting to watch.
Yeah, she's a freak. And I mean that in the best way possible. She's an
Yeah.
athletic freak. So is she number one on your Mount Rushmore? I feel,
Absolutely.
not Dr. Wickenheiser? That's
You know what's
controversial.
uh,
Ooh.
for sure. No, MPP for me is number
MPB.
one.
Yeah, I
I'll
would
tell
agree
you
as
a
well.
story about Haley Wickenheiser. So I forgot that she was a part of the Leafs organization. I
Mm-hmm.
actually don't know if she is anymore, but I remember my first season at the Marlies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she was doing scouting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so she would sometimes be sitting like, in the box seats at the
Yeah.
Marlies games.
Mm-hmm.
And it just never crossed my brain that like I would ever actually see her.
Yeah.
Like I guess I just forgot. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things going on during a Marlies game. Like, yeah, I'm
Yep.
not really looking around that much, especially like up to the boxes.
Yeah.
But I remember it was the first time we were doing the wacky inflatable cam. And I
Oh,
had to do it by
yes.
myself because it was a game that actually was Joey there? Doesn't matter. I was doing wacky
Mm-hmm.
inflatable cam and was like, what the heck is this? And they were just like, you're just gonna flail about and have some fun. And I was like, okay, what a
Okay,
terrible
if you say
job.
so.
And I remember doing that hit and I was just, doing my thing, whatever. And I look up and I like lock eyes with her and I was like, and then my first thought was like, I can't believe Haley Wickenheiser just saw me do that.
Yep. I love it. That's
And
brilliant.
then, yeah, my mind was kind of blown, was like, dang, I wonder if she ever just looks down like, what are they doing?
Yeah. No, as long as you're having fun, people can't judge
I
fun.
know. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's
and then
exactly what it is. It's just fun.
exactly.
Like, I
Uh,
no shame, right? Like just
exactly.
go out and have a good time.
Exactly. I always tell our two kids here, if you're not smiling, you're not doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And I
It's
genuinely,
true.
yeah. So go
It's
have some
true, and
fun.
it's so contagious, and that's another thing that Joey and I kind of always agreed on, where it's just like, as long as we're having fun, like, it doesn't matter if, the hit that we just did kind of failed or flopped, or
Hmm.
like, I don't know, if we messed up some words in the game day goods,
Yeah.
people don't care. Like, they just want to see us having fun, and that's an
Exactly.
invitation for them to enjoy themselves,
Exactly.
and that creates fans for life and people who want to keep
Hmm.
coming back to Marley's games. That's
Yep.
what it's all about.
Yeah, I love it.
Mhm.
So we do have some questions here from a couple of the fans. Now they're not too
Okay.
serious, but they're all
That's all right.
designed just to kind of get to know Alex Cairns Celebre a little bit
Bring it
better.
on.
Butchered that pronunciation. What was your favorite Marty's moment from the last year or two? Like, do you have, is there one that sticks out, or has it just been an absolute blast the whole time?
Oh, one moment. I don't know if there's one moment. Every, truthfully, like, it's so cheesy, but it's just, I can't be more sincere when I say it's the most fun I've ever had at work.
Yeah,
It's the most fun I've ever had at a job. I'm
brilliant.
trying to think if one game particularly stands out, but I don't think it does. It's just we've got such a great crew of people.
Hmm.
I enjoy everybody so very much. Like Sarah, like DJ Sarah, like DJ Levi rather, like
Yep.
she's amazing. Love spending time with her anytime we go up to the booth. Obviously, Joey and I just having a good time. Like just every day I get to go to work, like we're so lucky. We're
Hmm.
so lucky that we actually get paid to be here. That's crazy because it's such a good
Yeah.
time. I really wish I could pick out one moment, but
There's too
I
many
don't
to
know if
pick
I
from.
can. Yeah, like
Yep.
too many to pick from.
Okay. What?
It's just all in all, know that the fun that we're having is so real, so genuine. Not that I think
Hmm.
anybody would ever be like, they're phoning it in,
No,
but
definitely
it
not. Not
really is.
once.
Yeah, it really is
Mm.
just the most fun. And we're so lucky anytime that we get up there and do what we do.
Excellent. Um, and here's one. A couple of people asked this question, and I genuinely said, I don't know. Do you get to keep all the Marley swag that you wear during the games?
Yes.
Oh, there
Yes.
you go.
This
Yes,
pulled this
you're
guy
rocking
out.
one
This
right
is my
now.
favorite one.
That's
I know.
beautiful.
Um, Yeah, like most of the time, yeah. I'm trying to think of a time where they were like, "No, you can't take that home." But most of the
Okay.
time, I think
Excellent.
like especially when it's like a theme game, like we always get
Hmm.
to keep those shirts and that kind of
Yeah.
merch. Um,
Excellent.
like I got a jersey when I started, which is
Yep.
like truly one of my prized possessions because I'm not a kid who grew up playing sports, and so I'm like, I never had a
Hmm.
jersey. I've never had a jersey in my life, and now I have a
Yeah.
jersey with my name on it. That's so
Yes.
cool.
Love it.
Um, yeah, no, we get to keep the clothing and stuff. I mean, it's not a ton of stuff, but
Yeah.
it is cool. I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah, hey, I'll
It's
take
not
it
a bad
most definitely.
wardrobe to have to wear to work.
Yeah, definitely. This one is more on the production side, I guess. Who decides what games that people play?
So that is Vanessa and Jeremy.
Hmm.
They Jeremy is the guy that you see running around trying to wrangle me and Joey.
He always has his headset and his clipboard.
He's got his headset.
Yep.
He's I mean, poor guy has to deal with me and Joey all the time, so
I'm sure
you
there's
know.
worse people he's dealt with. I'm pretty sure.
But they yeah, as the oh gosh, I really wish I could get the titles right. Vanessa's the one who runs the whole show. Like
Hmm.
she's the boss of everything. She sits in the booth, she's
Hmm.
given the orders, everything comes down from her and she is
Hmm.
so good. So good at her
Yeah.
job. But they decide kind of every week based on I guess what we haven't done in a while, what kind of
You know.
prizes that we're able to give away, they kind of make
Excellent.
those decisions. And then there are some things that are always set. Like we know if it's a Sunday game, there's going to be
Hmm.
Scotiabank Marlies for all. Like we're doing the
Yep.
Scotiabank puzzle and stuff.
Yep.
Some things are very set depending on the game, if it's a theme,
Hmm.
whatever. But yeah, I don't really know how they kind of decide. All I know is that one time Joey and I tried to pitch games and they were like, no. We were
No.
like, okay.
Okay, appreciate that. So the next two are about Luca. I promise you, they're the only two.
Oh, that's
And
okay. He's all
I'll,
right.
he's not too bad. A lot of people, and I do mean a lot, everybody I asked, how did she meet Luca? Ask her how she met Luca. How did she meet Luca?
Oh my
So,
gosh, that's so
how did
funny.
you meet Luca? A lot of people want, all the Marlies fans want to know, apparently.
I love that. And I'm also just like I never know if people know, well, now that we're married, but if
Hmm.
we're together because especially when I'll do a quick tangent. When I first started, when I first got into sports, I
Hmm.
didn't want anybody to think, Luca had, helped usher me in like
Hmm.
because he really didn't. Like I did all of
Yeah.
this on my own. Um
Hmm.
he was obviously a great support and I'm so lucky and privileged that I had him to lean on, but it's
Hmm.
not like Luca opened the doors for me and I kind of
Yeah.
walked through them. And so sometimes I feel a little weary about like telling people like, oh, like, and this is my guy. And
Hmm.
you all know him, but you don't know
Yep.
me.
Hmm.
Um, But I mean, now we're married. I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But we met because truthfully, I was a fan of Bar Down. I
Excellent.
grew up a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, you know. I
Yep.
I was consuming the content, and so I was watching the quizzes. I
Mm-hmm.
felt so basically I knew who they all were. Um, my Instagram algorithm was like, you should follow these guys. And so, I mean, I think I followed Luca, Jesse, Corwin. I think those were the three that popped up being like, you should
Mm-hmm.
follow these guys. I was like, yeah, I should. They're
Yeah.
fun. Um, but then Luca followed me right back, and I was like,
Starstruck almost.
oh my God. I was totally starstruck and was like, oh my God, the guy from the quiz just followed me back. And then he sent me a message. I was like, oh my God. I was so starstruck.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Love it.
My maid of honor in her speech, like at the wedding, mentioned, like, I remember on our very first date, she walked me to our first date because I was so
Mm-hmm.
nervous. Um, but I remember at that point, Luca and I had only been texting. Like we never like picked up the phone to call each other.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting at we had our first date at the Greater Good, which is a place in like
Mm-hmm.
a bar in Toronto. I'm sitting at the Greater Good and I see that he's calling me. I'm like, why is he calling me? And he's
Yeah.
calling me because he didn't know where to park. And so I just
Yep.
like told him where to park wherever. And then I called Oksana, my best friend, and was just like, his voice sounds just like it does on YouTube. And I was like freaking out. I was like such a dork.
That's
But
brilliant.
yeah, we really met because I was a fan. I was a fan of Bar Down, the
Yeah.
content that they were doing. And then he just happened to follow me back and we have been in
Beautiful.
contact ever since.
Yeah, now you can't get rid of him, unfortunately.
And now I legally cannot get
Yeah.
rid of him.
I'm
But
not,
that's okay.
that's not too bad. Yeah. And the next one, where did you go on your honeymoon? A lot of people wanted to know that one.
We went to Italy. It
Beautiful.
was beautiful. We went right away. We got married on May 17th. May 18th, we got on a flight. We actually our flight was at night. I remember I
Mm-hmm.
bought internet to watch that horrendous Leafs game. Uh and was so mad. I'm like, why did I just spend $30 on internet to watch this? Like,
Waste of money.
why?
Waste.
Horrendous, but whatever, doesn't matter. But all
Mm-hmm.
that is to say, we went to Italy, we went to Rome, the Amalfi Coast,
Oh,
Florence.
yes.
It was beautiful. We were
Um,
so lucky. Planning a
mm-hmm.
wedding was very hard. It
Mm-hmm.
takes up so much of your time, and it was
Mm-hmm.
really nice just to spend time together uninterrupted and just, feel like people again. It
Brilliant.
was very nice.
Absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
So is there, and this is one as well, I was like, I don't know, is there much of a difference working the Coliseum and the Scotiabank games? Or is your day-to-day kind of the same?
Oh, I love this question. And I've talked about this with like Marlies fans, like, like when we go to Scotiabank, huge difference,
Oh yeah?
massive difference. I have always said I much prefer being at home. I much prefer being
Mm-hmm.
at the Coliseum. Um, as much as like Scotiabank, of course, and we're only there a couple times a year,
Mm-hmm.
as much as like you feel the weight and excitement of being like, oh my gosh, like there's so many more people here. This is
Yep.
so cool. Um, you would know if you've been to a Marlies game at Scotiabank that we are very much um what's the word? Like we only work out of one section.
Yep.
Like we don't get to walk around and like
Mm-hmm.
talk to more people. That's what I love about the Coliseum where it's the bowl is
Yeah.
open. Like
Yeah.
when I'm not doing a hit or when I'm not preparing for something, I can just walk around the bowl and talk to people. I
Mm-hmm.
can walk around the lower bowl, I can walk around the top of it. Like it's very
Yeah.
free and you
Mm-hmm.
get to connect with more people that way and
Yep.
you get to talk to more fans that way. Um, Whereas at Scotiabank, um, we can be upstairs in our room
Mm-hmm.
or we can be, I think in section 116 is the one we're normally at. And
That's
that's
the
it.
yeah. That's the IBM section, right?
I
You stand in
think
front of the
so.
IBM sign. I
In
think
the
it's IBM.
corner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the it's like it's totally cool and exciting to go to Scotiabank.
Yeah.
But for me, the job is so much of it is being able to talk to fans, walk around
Hmm.
the ball, smile at people, make sure they're having fun. And at
Excellent.
Scotiabank, I feel like that is a piece that we miss because we really only get to interact with the fans that are directly around us.
Yeah.
Because it's such a bigger space. Like I wouldn't want to wander and then be like, "Oh crap, we're almost at the 10-minute mark. I gotta go,
Yep.
I gotta
Gotta
run back."
sprinting
And
back. Yep.
so they like to keep us, in one spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I much prefer being at Coca-Cola Coliseum is the perfect venue. It
Agreed.
really is. Yeah, it's so much fun. We're so lucky to be there.
Excellent. And I think you kind of answered this one, but what is your favorite part of the job of being the in-arena host?
Ooh, my favorite part of the job is just it's just people. Like
Hmm.
really just like hanging out with the fans
Yeah.
and like just yeah, just making those connections. It's so
Hmm.
fun to be like and to see like the season's ticket holders and like the
Hmm.
regulars who are coming all the time and like truly building connection with them and being
Yeah.
like I know your family. Like how are your kids? How is your son-in-law? Like you
Brilliant.
really like do build connection with people that you see
Hmm.
so often. And that's really just the best part of it.
Yeah.
And especially as somebody who grew up a hockey fan,
Hmm.
um, and at times it has felt difficult to be a hockey fan when the sport itself can be, or at least has a culture of not being a very welcoming space to
Hmm.
everybody. And
Hmm.
so what I love about this job I can do with the Marlies is if it's somebody's very first hockey game ever,
Hmm.
and oftentimes it is,
Yeah.
I want to be able to be a piece of setting the tone of being like, I understand there are parts of this sport, and this culture that have been unwelcoming
Hmm.
and not nice to everybody, to put it kindly,
Yeah.
but it can also be really fun. It can
Yep.
also be a safe space. Let me be a piece of that so you come back. I
Hmm.
want to make sure, people understand like this can also be a safe space. It
Yep.
can be. There are people who want to welcome everybody into the
Excellent.
hockey world. And so knowing that that's a part of my job that I take very seriously,
Hmm.
um, makes going to work fun because it's like of course I'm going in with the purpose of, you know, giving away t-shirts and having a good time. But like when you zoom out a little bit and
Yeah.
realize like I could be the difference between this being somebody's first and last hockey game or this being the
Excellent.
start of a lifelong, passion, a
Hmm.
lifelong yeah, love for
Yep.
somebody. And so
Agreed.
that weight, that weightiness to my job I take so seriously.
Hmm.
Um and I really do enjoy that kind of
Excellent.
responsibility.
Well, I can back you up on that one. So we're season ticket holders. We have been for
Yeah.
about 100 years. And my mother came over from Ireland and went to her first hockey game this year. And we were
What'd you
sitting.
think?
Oh, she fell in love. She's a fan for life now. She's a fan for
Oh,
life.
that's the best.
And it was in part to you and Joey and just the absolute
Oh.
lunacy that occurs. Like she kept saying, like, "Oh, when's the ref gonna blow the whistle? When's he gonna blow the whistle?" She was kind of looking forward to just the apps. We don't have that at home. So at
Yeah.
home, you'd have like we have our own national sports: Gaelic football, Gaelic soccer, or Gaelic
Yep.
hurling. But you play the first half, then there's a break. You go to the washroom, you get a beer. You come to the second,
Yeah.
and then you go home.
Yeah.
It's a very North American thing where you have
Oh,
like in arena
interesting. Yeah.
hosts, and no, we don't have cheerleaders at the Marlies, but the game crew, they're dancing and
Yes.
throwing just lunacy going on. And she absolutely loved it. No,
Oh, I love
she liked the
that.
sport of hockey, but no,
Yeah.
she thought that got in the way of the entertainment. So definitely, I can tell you, you're
Oh,
doing an
that's the
A1 job.
best.
She
I
feels
love that.
she loves that
That
way. And last,
that is
this is from
exactly what we're
Ethan.
trying to do.
Yeah, mission accomplished, genuinely. Ethan, who actually, to give it a story about Ethan, our eldest, he's on the spectrum.
Mhm.
He's awesome. No, he's not awesome. He's a jackass. And I hope he's listening to this right now. But no,
I hope so too.
he's 16. He's awesome. Again, he's a lifelong Marlies fan. He will be till the day
Yeah.
he dies. But he graduated middle school, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, give or take. And
Yeah.
they had when you got your little certificate, you went up on the stage, your picture was on the projector, and you had a quote,
Yeah.
like a senior year quote. And his
Yeah.
was love all, hate none.
Oh,
That was his quote.
oh,
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. I
Yeah.
love that.
And he lives by that. So if anyone is saying anything kind of derogatory, that's what hey, no, no, no. Love all, hate none.
That's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah. He's taking that into his
It's so
personal life.
simple. It's so
Yeah.
simple and it's so easy.
So
I love
powerful.
that.
So powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Ethan has a
Oh,
question.
okay.
He's a foodie. No, the guy is
Ooh.
he's like that. But he will just eat, typical teenager, eat like a
Yeah.
dumpster.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one thing I hate most about him, he can eat whatever he wants and not gain weight. I hate him so much. But no, I don't. If
The
anyone's
tables will
listening,
turn one day. The tables will turn one
yeah.
day.
Oh, how the turns have tabled. There's
Yes.
an office quote.
Yeah,
Love
exactly.
it. So Ethan wants to know what's your go-to food at the Coliseum?
Oh, maybe this is something that people don't know,
Oh,
but we, every single game that we show up to for work, we get a hot meal. Like they feed us.
oh, I
It's
didn't
one
know
of
that.
the, it is one of the, do I want to say this? It's one of the best parts of the job. It's
Ethan would
getting fed.
100% agree with you. 100% he would.
Like I know I've talked a big game about I love the fans and I love, but like the food
Yep.
is pretty great. They feed us a hot meal every single game. It's
Wow.
one of the joys, of course, seeing everybody and doing the work, but it's one of the great joys is walking into the team room or like
Yeah.
into our little team room and being like, what are they feeding us?
Yes. Now we're talking.
Yeah, so we get fed very well. We get
Hmm.
a hot meal, we get cookies, we get a lot, especially like when we do our school day games. We get
Hate those
coffee
games.
and scrambled eggs and
Oh, yes.
maple bacon. Oh,
Oh,
I am also a
wow.
big foodie. I love food. But so yeah, maybe little unknown fact is
Hmm.
we all get fed very, very well. I never go
Brilliant.
hungry at the Coliseum, but
Hmm.
if I am feeling snacky on top of the meal, like
Hmm.
perhaps if we're going into double overtime, let's say in a playoff game, I
Hmm.
will
Hmm.
go and maybe normally a slice of pizza.
Pizza.
Normally a
Yeah.
slice of
That's
pizza.
a
I made it
solid
in Italian.
choice.
I'm gonna go with pizza.
You have to say pizza, don't you? I don't think you have a choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I can promise you Ethan will agree. That's his go-to as well.
Yeah,
Wonder if the guy's
just
a pizza
classic,
fiend.
reliable.
Yep, you can't go wrong.
Yep.
So we're gonna wrap things up with some quick fire questions.
Sure.
So first thing that comes to your head, what's your favorite sport that isn't hockey? Or do you have a favorite sport that isn't hockey?
Oh, do I? Do I have a favorite sport that's not hockey? I
Soccer.
watch a lot of hockey. I feel like I work on a basketball show, so I feel like I
Hmm.
should say. I'll say basketball just to be
Basketball.
safe.
Excellent. What was your favorite subject in school?
Ooh. Um, sorry, I don't know if you can hear these notifications going off.
No?
I'm gonna say English. I loved English. I love
Hmm.
Shakespeare. I love yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes
For an
sense.
adult who admittedly doesn't read a lot of books,
Hmm.
I loved English.
Excellent. Do you prefer hot or cold weather?
Oh, hot.
Oh, you're so wrong, but okay. Um, who's your favorite band?
My favorite band, I'm gonna say the Glorious Sons.
The Glorious Sons. Do
Yeah,
you have
good
a hidden
Canadian
talent?
band.
Solid Canadian band, yes.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you have a hidden talent?
Ooh, do I have a hidden talent? Ooh, I feel like I use most of my talents pretty openly in all of my
Hmm.
jobs.
Nothing wrong with that. If you got it, flaunt it.
Anything, anything hidden? I mean, maybe something people wouldn't know about me is that I was a competitive tap dancer when I was young, and
Oh,
so I'm very good at tap dancing.
wow.
I've
Did
got my
not know
shoes in
that.
the closet. I'll spare you. I won't bring them out
No, hey, I'm a
today, but
huge
maybe I'll bring
Riverdance
them to a
fan.
Marlies game.
I'm a huge Riverdance fan. My sister did Irish dancing, kind of tap
Oh yeah.
dancing
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
years. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm a
very
big fan.
cool.
Yeah,
It's tough. I would
that's
say like
intense.
Riverdance specifically, I never did it, but looking at their level of discipline to what I was doing, I was like,
Yeah,
so
this
much
is,
talent, so much strength.
yeah, no, thank you.
Hmm.
Allison wants to know, what's your favorite animal?
Hmm.
Wants to know, what's your favorite animal?
Ooh. Dog. Easy.
That's exactly
Easy.
what she said you'd
Boring,
say.
but easy.
Yep.
Yeah. Love a dog. Love dogs more than people. I'll be open about it.
That's not that controversial. Don't know
Yeah,
if
it's
I
true.
disagree with you. Don't know if I disagree. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is it's a little niche. It's a movie called Dogfight. It was River Phoenix.
Hmm.
Uh I think early 90s. Beautiful, sad, stunning love story.
Excellent. Now, you just got back from Italy.
Sure did,
Celebre
yeah.
is now your surname. So
Yeah.
you could be another perfect person to ask. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay.
Yay. Love it. I
Okay.
know. I know.
Did not expect that. Not gonna lie. Did
Yeah.
not expect that.
Love it.
And as a quick follow up to that, when we spoke to Zach Solo last week, he
Yeah.
mentioned that he had a billet brother growing up and his own daughter Collins put applesauce on their pizza. Yeah, I was horrified
No.
as well. How do we
No.
feed? No.
Applesauce?
Yeah.
I don't
Apparently it's a thing.
I don't understand
Uh,
where. Do you put it on top of the cheese?
yeah, you pour it on top or you dip it in.
Oh. Listen, one thing about me is I will try anything
Mm-hmm.
at least once. And so as horrified as I am, I'll try it.
You try it?
If you put it in front of me, I
Oh.
for sure would try it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the opposite of a picky eater. The only thing
Mm-hmm.
I can't eat is eggplant because I have a very strange allergy to it.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, you put anything in front of me, I'll try, as
Try
horrifying as
again.
it sounds.
Okay.
So
Well, no, I'll
maybe.
leave that one to you. I'm not going to touch that. Ugh. Um, who was your favorite Leaf growing up? And you're not allowed to say your grandfather.
Ooh, yes, thank you.
You were not allowed to say it.
I
So,
will not,
yep,
but shout out to Billy Taylor.
yep.
Um, my favorite Leaf growing up. I feel like it's very easy, but it's of the time. It's Matt Sundin.
That's, yeah.
Like, I just have so many memories, hockey night in Canada, watching,
Mm-hmm.
those games with my dad, with my brother. Like, yeah, it was just he was easy to cheer on. He
Mm-hmm.
was so, so great for us. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I know it's quick fire, but we've gone really slow.
No,
Just
it's
to let
okay.
people know, your
That's me.
grandfather won a Stanley Cup, didn't he, with the Leafs?
Yes. Two? One.
Two, one. Oh, I don't know. He's
One,
your
two.
grandfather. You tell me.
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, gotta brush up on my history. But yes, he definitely won in 1942.
19th. Excellent. That's incredible. What's your favorite TV show now and of all time?
This is easy.
Oh, okay. Oh, Stranger Things. You
Stranger
got a big
Things.
poster right behind you.
I know. When I first started working, and this is where I do most of my work calls and everything,
Hmm.
somebody told me like you should probably take the Stranger Things poster down. It's not very professional. And I said, I'll think about it. And 3 years later, it's still up.
It's still there. I love it. I love
Stranger
it.
Things all the way. Can't wait for season five. I have a Stranger Things tattoo. I love Stranger Things.
Excellent. Okay. And
Yep.
finally, might be a little hard to answer.
Oh
Would you
boy.
rather the Leafs win a Stanley Cup next year or the Marlies win the Calder Cup? Which would you rather?
Oh my gosh, what a question. Oh
And there's only one
man.
right answer. I'll have you know. There's only one right answer, or we're ending this call immediately.
You know what I learned? If this is such a selfish answer, if the Marlies win a Calder Cup,
Mm-hmm.
I get a ring too. All staff get a
No.
all staff get a ring. Are we getting the real ones? I don't know, but we get rings. I remember
Wow.
Joey telling me this because he came in 2019, so
Yeah.
obviously right after,
Mm-hmm.
um, and they had a ring for him, and he was like, "Well, I didn't really earn this one, but I'll take
Yeah.
it." And so in the back of my mind, I'm always like, "Man,
Oh,
that'd be
wow.
really freaking." And of course, so selfish. What do I contribute nothing. I contribute nothing to on the ice, but boy, that would be really fun to be a
Yeah.
part of. And especially like I love Marlies fans. They're so
Mm-hmm.
kind, they're so nice. It's such a joy to be around everybody every week.
Mm-hmm.
Like just knowing like this group of people would get to celebrate in that, I'm like, heck yeah. Bring
Yes.
a Calder Cup back.
Yes, now we're talking. Now,
Yeah.
I know Kelsey, the bus driver. We go to all the Belleville games, and he has a
Oh.
ring.
Oh, do
And
you
he,
really?
oh yeah, we went to everyone this year actually, and last year.
No way.
Um, but
I've heard Belleville is such a different environment than our games, and I've wanted to get to one.
oh, it's the weirdest arena. The layout, it's the
That's what
weirdest arena.
Simon was telling me that. I was like, I
Yeah,
gotta see this for myself.
yeah, no, definitely. What's it? An hour and a half, 2 hours away, give or take.
Yeah, not too bad. Just down the 401, really, I guess.
Yeah. Plus, Wayne organizes a trip every year for the season seat holders. Just jump on the bus.
Oh, I love that because you
Yeah.
you would know Belleville fans always come to our games.
Yep.
So
Oh, we
I've
go to
I've actually
theirs.
thought about it. I'm like, how many Marlies fans go out to the Belleville
No,
games?
we got a good number. And I go, Mike Warren, the guy that banks a drum in Duke's Dog Pound.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm very close friends with him, and he and I go up.
Oh yeah.
So we're there, we're
Nice.
banging, we're shouting, and we get
That's
drowned
so
out with
fun.
abuse. We get drowned out.
Oh,
We
that's a
try,
lot
but
of fun though.
yeah, I know it is. Definitely, I'd recommend you go to a Belleville game.
Yeah, you know what? I would like to make it priority to go. I just
Yeah,
I just want to see what it's like.
no, super fun, super fun. We went to Laval this year as well. That was
Oh.
intense. Like that.
What point in the season did you go?
We went up uh, just before Christmas, I think it was. Where we
Okay, so
remember
kind of
that
midway.
Cedric Parry game where he scored in overtime and did or the shootout, was it?
Oh,
And he cut, was that December time?
that
December,
feels like it was
January?
earlier rather than later.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't remember exactly, but we went up that weekend, and yeah,
Yeah.
that place is intense. Like they're animals. They're just so intense on winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to get a "Let's Go Marlies" chant going, and I got pelted with food, popcorn.
Did you
Yeah.
really?
Now I was just sitting in my seat, minding my own business. We have that little Marlies flag that we wave, the little
Yes.
green, white, and orange one.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so that's us. So I'm like, "Let's go Marley, boo!" And then I got pelted, absolutely pelted.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
they take it serious up there.
That's
So probably
so
don't go
funny.
to one of those ones.
All right.
Yeah, that was a
Well,
bit intense. That
you
was a
don't have to
bit-
twist my arm to not go up to LaSalle, but
Yeah, is what it is.
Belleville I would like to try.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. And the food is so cheap up there as well. I'm not saying we're
Really?
expensive, but
We kind of are. That's okay.
Toronto prices, you gotta
It's
expect it, right?
Toronto prices.
Exactly. Right. Well, Alex, again, this was unbelievable. It's great getting to chat, get to know you a little bit better.
Yes,
I genuinely hope our listeners like it. And if they are free at the Coliseum and they see you not busy, are they okay to come up and say hello?
absolutely. Please
Excellent.
always do. I hope that, again, it's something that Joey and I have talked about. We're like, I hope that we are open enough and we look like we're having a good time enough that people always feel like they can come say
Hmm.
hi. Because
Excellent.
again, like I've said, it's one of the best parts of the job.
Brilliant.
So please always say hi.
Excellent. So you heard it here first. If you see Alex, you're free to talk to her.
Yes.
If she's not
Yes.
busy.
Yeah.
If she's not busy.
Unless we are,
Yeah.
if we're on camera, please do not. And please stay in your seats. And please stay out of the bowl when we score. Those are my notes.
Oh, obviously 111 we sit row D, what's that, 4 or 5 rows up?
Yep.
And the amount of kids that are walking and someone's carrying the big huge flag after
I
a goal.
know.
This is a
I
liability
know.
waiting to happen.
It's nerve-wracking
Yeah.
sometimes.
Oh,
It's
very,
very nerve-wracking.
very. But hey, what can
Yeah.
you do? It is all part of the theater, right, of it.
Yeah, I know. It's
But
fun.
but yeah, again, Alex, I want to say a huge thanks for joining us.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, we don't have hockey this month, but we're not maybe 12 weeks away, 12, 13.
Is that it?
Yeah, we're
That's
got three,
that's
for
that's
3 4 months.
hopeful. That
Yeah,
is hopeful. As much as I never want summer to end because I love summer,
yeah,
that is such a joy of being like, it's October. Hockey's
yep.
back. I can't wait.
Counting down the minutes.
Yeah.
Counting down the minutes. Okay, well, again, Alex, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll hopefully talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. This was a great conversation. Thank you.
Hey, folks, that was a fun one. Really, really enjoyed that. We were scheduled for 30 minutes, and we actually went to an hour. Very rarely you get an interview that goes a lot longer than it's supposed to, and you don't even realize. That hour just flew by. It was great getting to talk to Alex, and again, I want to say a huge thanks to her for coming on. She took an hour out of her day. She's a busy woman, but yeah, really appreciate that. We got to learn a couple of things about her. A, she's a nerd. B, she's a control freak. No, Alex, I'm joking. I'm joking. No, it was an unbelievable podcast, and I look forward to seeing Alex back at the Coliseum. And like she said, feel free to go up and say hello to her. I'll leave a link to Alex's Instagram below in case you want to follow her, maybe get to know her a little bit better. I'll leave a link to our one as well. If you're on Instagram following Alex, you may as well give us a follow too. We started an Instagram community 2 weeks ago or so, maybe 2 weeks ago. So yeah, we'd really appreciate if you went on and gave us a follow. I'll leave the link to the Bar Down YouTube channel there as well. I wasn't saying it just because Alex is on. I genuinely love their content, their quizzes and all the games they play. It's legitimately really good content. So I'll go give them a follow also. Quick update regarding the podcast. We have 3 players who have committed to coming on, and we have 2 behind the scenes people and 1 YouTuber that has agreed to come on, and it's a big YouTuber, a lad. So we're going to be busy this summer. We haven't really finalised the schedule of when the podcasts are going to be released. I'm thinking maybe every Friday, Saturday time. Heading into the weekend, give you something to listen to. But yeah, so keep your ears out, keep your eyes on the page, and we'll be releasing some exciting content over the next couple of weeks. Again, I want to say a huge thanks to Alec Celebre, even though I'm probably butchering that name. So apologies to her and Luca. But folks, make sure you come back, and we'll catch you in the next one.